Okay. Greetings, good people. It's the end of March and the beginning of spring. It's raining outside. It's not raining inside. And this is me, Bert Lee, performing some songs for you tonight, starting a little later than usual. For the sake of anyone who wants to come and listen to my music, I do appreciate my fan base. And if you're here and you want to say hello, just jump on the chat there and identify yourself. It always helps me to know who I'm performing for. Tonight's show is dedicated to my friend Harvey Bojarski, who sadly has left our side of the universe and has gone on the long journey. And I wish him peace and arrival, peace in the journey, and I thank his spirit for being such a kind spirit and a friend of mine for so long. It always makes us sad when something like that happens. So in honor of that, I am going to be doing songs that Harvey likes to begin my show. These are songs he's requested over the years, so I hope that you enjoy them too. I know you will. Some of them are original, some of them are traditional. Harvey liked my songs, but he also liked all kinds of music. And so, in the spirit of that, I offer the best I can do. And this is a traditional American song. When I first came to town, they called me the roving Jew. Now they've changed their tune. They call me Katie Crew. To the woods I go, through the swamp and mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. If I was where I would be, I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I would be, I cannot. When I first came to town, they bought me drinks aplenty. Now they've changed their tune, they bring me the bottle empty. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. If I was where I would be, I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I would be, I cannot. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. Wide awake before the dawn, my purpose and my purse are gone. I can't go on, I will go on. The battle's lost before the sword is drawn, my shield and helmet put in pawn. I can't go on, I will go on. Time, the thief, has come and gone and left defenseless on my own. I can't go on. A newborn cries, and that's the start of songs and sadness, love and war. A rush of language from the heart, windows, madness, lamps and doors, metonym and metaphor. It's words alone and nothing else except the story silence tells. There is no creature stranger than this beast they call my fellow man. I can't go on, I will go on. Who denies the earth but claims the moon and staggers to the fiddler's tune? Born too late, dies too soon. First breath in, last breath out, birth's entrenchment, life's redoubt. I can't go on, I will go on. I've lost all the things I thought I've owned. Now I find that they were merely loaned. I can't repay, so I can't stay. My dreams were stolen by the dawn, my purpose and my pulse are gone. The battle's lost before the sword is drawn, no peace has been agreed upon, and weak as an abandoned pawn I seek to, but I can't go on. I'll go on, I can't go on, I'll go on. Song based on a line from a Samuel Beckett novel and dedicated to Harvey. As I say, these are all songs that Harvey liked an awful lot, so I'm kind of featuring them up front in honor of our friendship. Lovely friendship it was. However brief, I didn't get to know Harvey until I began working the open mic at Cafe Vivaldi. And though he lived in Hoboken, he would make his way across the mighty river to the West Village and be in that delightful crowd. This is a song based on the fact that one of America's national treasures, songwriter Bob Dylan, has a hobby, which is welding giant metal sculptings, which he sells, I assume, to places that put up giant metal sculptings, which might be the lobbies of hotels. Who knows? I don't know if any of them are in art museums. They're awfully nice. They're sort of reminiscent of Pablo Picasso's early work. And the way he builds them out of scraps and pieces reminded me of the way he wrote songs, and that was how this song came to be. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Gonna build a big machine, a mechanical collage. Build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. Gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. And when it gets to roll, it's gonna make an awesome sound, like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. When I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and ask them, man, well, what's it do for you? Gonna write a crazy song, not sure what it's gonna mean. Might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. It might point to something deep, or maybe just be what it seems. And when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna beg me, please explain that thing to me. And I will turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing you can't see. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in a Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs. Gonna write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose. Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and words and prayers, though there might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in that ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothing, go and walk the world of men. Gonna look at all their faces, at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery that I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in a Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand at Jesus and suffered a relapse and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Got some newcomers listening, and feel merits mentioning again that this tonight's show is dedicated to my dear friend Harvey Bojarski, who just this week has flown to higher zones. And my condolences go out to his lovely friend Erica and his family, and I'll miss him. He was a kind and wonderful man. I think this, of all of the songs I ever wrote, this is the one that he liked the absolute most. He once told me it gave him a permanent earworm, and that's the highest compliment you could pay an unknown songwriter. So this is the prize from the Central Park Sheiks. And welcome. If you have access to chat, just take a moment and say hi. You don't really have to chat. Just say hi. I love to know who I'm playing for, and I see I have several people listening, so it always sort of encourages me to know what lovely humanoids have tuned in to my show. There I stood on the street, a grown man at last, with the road at my feet. I turned my back to the past. It's a story of old, You've heard it before, I know it's been told. With the sun in my eyes, I went seeking the prize. My father, he told me I had best take some care, and he offered me money to help pay for my fare. It's a story of old, you've heard it before, I know it's been told. With the sun in my eyes, I went seeking the prize. It's a story of old, you've heard it before, I know it's been told. With the sun in my eyes, I went seeking the prize. Now the miles, they are many, back to where I come from, and the prize, if there's any, is just a ticket back home. It's a story of old, you've heard it before, I know it's been told. With the sun in my eyes, I went seeking the prize. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese, maybe for good. Water, water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified and the first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair, it's the same thing everywhere. The Indians that once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water, water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't leave them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. It's only business everywhere. Now the hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops you could afford to shop in once, they now are boarded. The building owners, they don't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. And who are you and I to kid? It just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water, water, water everywhere. Music clubs have all shut down now. New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. and the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains. You can tip them if you care. There's so much free music everywhere. But the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? And who are you and I to kid? It settles for the lowest bid. The bottom line is where it goes. That's just the way the money flows. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Now in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. No matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end. It's not their fault they had to settle there. People, people, people everywhere. People trying just to be everywhere like you and me, like water flowing to the sea, going where we're meant to be. Water, 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 water everywhere. Oh, most of the songs you've heard. Sam, nice to see you. Hi, Robin. Sam, I don't know if you heard the sad news, but our friend Harvey is gone. He passed away this last week, and so this show is dedicated to him, and I certainly will miss the man, somebody I never got to know well enough. So a lot of these tunes are tunes from his usual requests. So the next tune is Peter Michael Smith. The Dutchman's not the kind of man who keeps his thumb jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. That's a secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden in the summer, Margaret brings him breakfast, she believes him. He thinks that tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he can be. Margaret only sees that sometimes. Sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes. His coat and cap are stitched with love that Margaret sews in them. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He follows tugboats down canals and waves to them when he thinks he knows the captain, till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him though she holds his arm. Sometimes he thinks that he's alone and calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Dear Margaret remembers that for me. The winter whirls, the windmills round. She winds his muffler tighter. They sit in the kitchen. Some tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, says her name. She makes the bed up singing some old love song. A song that Margaret learned when it was new. He sings a line or two, they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep and Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Dear Margaret remembers that for me. Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live in the air, and they want no drink nor money. From the hag and hungry goblin that into rags would rend ye, spirits that stand by a naked man in the book of moons defend ye. That of your 5 sound senses you shall not be forsaken, or wander from yourselves with Tom abroad to beg your bacon. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. The moon's my constant mistress, the lonely owl my marrow, the flaming drake and the night crow make me music to my sorrow. I know more than Apollo, for oft while he lay sleeping, I see the stars at bloody wars and a wounded welkin weeping. For I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. With a host of furious fancies, whereof I am commander, with a flaming spear and a horse of air, to the wilderness I wander. By a night of ghosts and shadows I summoned am to turn me 10 leagues beyond the wild world's end. Methinks it is no journey. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. I'll find my merry mad Maudlin, and I'll seek whate'er betides her, and I will love beneath of above the dirty earth that hides her. My staff has murdered giants, and my bag a long knife carries, for to cut mince pies from children's thighs with which to feed the fairies. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live in the air, and they want no drink nor money. That's a 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th century. After it was written every century by... There were hundreds of verses to that song. That particular set of verses were the result of a distillation ending in the work of Samuel Delany, science fiction writer, master science fiction writer extraordinaire, and Kenneth Patchen, who turned it into a shorter song. It was originally, as I say, hundreds of verses long, because it's fun to sing. I guess people really did it. Alrighty. Next here, this is in honor of my friend Sam Bryan, who's listening. And what I have is he liked this song, and I'm glad he liked this song. It always delights me when my friends say, "Hey, I like that song." And so this tune, I broke this out of the old songs I'd forgotten about bag. About a couple of months ago. And my wife was putting up with me singing songs that she knew too much. I sang that one and she said, "Hey, I've never heard you sing that. I've never heard you sing that way before." And I said, "Well, maybe it's a better song than I thought." So I went back in and I worked on it a little bit. And it turned it into, I think, a pretty nice song. And my friend Sam Bryan illustrated the song. So this goes out to Sam. Thank you for the lovely drawing. For my song, Blackbird and the Scarecrow. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world just went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz. A broke down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird flies over to the Scarecrow. It doesn't scare him a bit. It just sits on his shoulder to mock him and laughs at his own senseless wit. That Scarecrow doesn't scare him a bit. Blackbird, fly away from my shoulder. Blues, fly away from my heart. I've had your shadow upon me, oh darling, since we've been apart. Blues, fly away from my heart. There's a strange melody that hangs in the breeze, like a calliope gone out of tune. And those crows sing a song that's all busted and wrong by the cold light of the old crooked moon. They sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. The honky-tonk waltz. Thank you for the lovely illustration, my friend. Very nice indeed. It's a quiet night here in Dry Gulch. Feast your eyes on the space behind me here. This is our apartment, and if I turn the camera just a little this way or that way, you'd see that we're living in chaos, because possibly the next time, but certainly 2 times for now, you will be seeing a different room behind me without any curved doorways. I'm not sure. I guess you'll see a doorway, but it won't be curved. Lest you think I magically changed the doorway, I didn't. We're moving downstairs to a basement apartment, thanks to our landlord, who can make more money off of this apartment, but doesn't want to disown us entirely, which is a sweet thing for the man to do, I do believe. And so that's that. That's that. Oh, here we go. I'm glad you like that, Josephine. That song has been reaching me recently, as they say, the Dutchman. The news of this week is that my collection of short stories, The White Gallery, is now fully available to the public at Amazon Books. And if you're on my mailing list, which is easy to get on, just drop me an email at that email address that you see right there. If you're not on it already, I send out the link to my Amazon authors page where you can see the book, The White Gallery. And if you enjoy my writing, which I hope you do, I'm very proud of this collection of short stories. It's The White Gallery and Other Tales of My New York, and it's you've got everything going on in there. You've got ghosts and death rays and Martians and carnivorous pigeons and you name it. It's in there somewhere. Nikolai Tesla's in the mix. It's an enjoyable book, and I think the short stories are fun to read. So have a look at that. You'll find that at Amazon, The White Gallery. And as I say, get on my mailing list. You can keep track of me. I intend over the next period of my life to be very productive as an author, so I hope I can reach some readers. I've just come down to tell you about some music that I've heard. It's the band that plays on weekends down at Eddie's Crossroads Bar. They live out behind the diner in a bus that's up on blocks. If they ever get it rolling, I believe that they'll go far. And their leader's Alexander with his double neck guitar, who comes from Spain by way of San Francisco. His girlfriend is Elena from the hills of Bogota. When he met her, she was dancing in a disco. And the name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Their drummer is Matsui, he's a Japanese Hawaiian. He grew up playing country blues in Memphis, Tennessee. He drops his one right on the bar and then he kicks the 2 and 4. And sometimes you can find him with a banjo on his knee. And there's Jazzy Jan from Amsterdam, who fills in all the leads on the saxophone, sitar, and balalaika. And Brooklyn Bob's the sound man, he's the master of the mix. He could put a shine on 1956 Formica. Now these are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. And now Eddie tries to manage them, but he doesn't have a clue about the market niche where he should try to sell them. When the business people ask him about the bag they occupy, he doesn't have a notion what to tell them. There's a taste of gypsies, Idaho, and a hint of western swing, some polka, blues, and psychedelic soul. Throw in dance a mariachi and they lick a funky funk, and your mama and your papa's rock and roll. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. The name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. They've got lyrics like the Beatles, they've got lyrics like the Dead, they've got lyrics like the Kingsmen where you're not sure what they said. Oh, but when they start to harmonize, all the angels shut their mouth, 'cause it's all about the unity of North, East, West, and South. These are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. And the name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. And that tune is from an album that I released right around the turn of the century, the last turn of the century. I had not quite moved into the Victrola age at the last term before that. I was only sitting on a tree stump playing a banjo. God, I'm ancient. I am just so effing ancient. And what to do? Put some jelly in my shoe. That's what I'll do. Here's another one that goes to Harvey and his lovely other Erica. I hope she's holding up well. This is hard stuff for people. I think this is of my songs, Erica's favorite of my songs. It's offered to her. My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal. You know he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it was, you know, now the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser and his story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold all his statues and his trappings, his caskets and his gold. He wanted to have everything, but all he got was old, 'cause none of it was real. Funny how it is, you know, now none of it was real. His monument so grand just got covered up by sand. Now he's just another mummy, man, 'cause none of it was real. A poor man buys a loaf of bread and he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his portion, yet his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn. 'Cause when you're in the underclass, you're always overdrawn, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know, now the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. You won't pick up a penny, oh, but you might spare a dime. $1 buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C-note gets you groceries and $1,000 might buy a thrill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed, and I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need. But it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have 1 billion when there's 1,000,000 mouths to feed? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know, now the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, but in the end you'll learn that it all amounts to nothing. Now I had me a young buddy who was into higher tech. He said he made a fortune, but not in the way you might expect. He made it all in bitcoins, then it bit him on the butt. Now he lives in a vacant lot in a soggy cardboard hut, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know, the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward. It's funny, yes, it's funny that the money isn't. That's the definitive, the money isn't real, as defined by me, so, you know, that's all I can say. I can define it any way I want to. That's my right and privilege. My right and privilege. Well, what else do I have that's in the zone? Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's a song about the passage of time. It creeps up on us. A lifetime may take a lifetime, but in the end, the only thing that's taken is the time. Whoa, man. Heavy. Wrote this song when I was 50. It's the evening of my 50th birthday, and it was based on a memory of my 10th birthday when I was in a bus going from Dallas, Texas to Oklahoma City to see my grandmother, whose second husband had just passed away. And I was sent as an emissary of love, because it was figured that, you know, if she had a young guy like me to take care of, it would take her mind off her worries. Didn't bother me. I loved her. She was my favorite grandmother. She was a funny, funny lady, and we got along just fine. And I was happy to, as they say, waltz with the widow. You're a bus driver bound from the lights of the city to the quiet of little towns lost in the night. Exits and off-ramps and neon-lit diners and the bright eyes of rabbits like stars on the roadside. And the radio reminds you of all that's behind you. Your poor eyes are dazzled by the oncoming lights. The white line goes through you. You don't know now, do you, why the good folks won't turn down their brights. Through the long night the dark traffic sighs. What color are the bus driver's eyes? Puzzles and riddles and cats that play fiddles, children that change in the rays of the moon. The little dog laughed just to see such a sight, and the dish ran away with the media tycoon. Are we almost there yet? And why is the rain wet? And who spilled the stars on the velvety deep? Digressions and questions, liars' confessions. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. So many what-ifs and whys. What do you see when you shut down your eyes? There once was a maiden who escaped from her bower by cutting off all of her beautiful hair, and weaving a ladder she climbed from the tower and ran off and left not a note on a chair. There was an old farmer who traded his best cow for a hand-scribbled map and an old rusty key. The little dog wept just to hear such a tale. The tears that he offered would fill up the sea. Through the long night the dark traffic rolls, and the night driver ferries our souls. Are we almost there yet? And why is the rain wet? And who spilled the stars on the velvety deeps? Look up out your window, watch the moon follow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. Now be a good fellow, go and waltz with the widow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. And there you go, a song about time and how it just seems to go slipping on by. This is hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all feeling good. As I addressed Sam and my lovely Joes and Robin. I'm so glad you're hanging in with us tonight. Any original songs of mine that you know I play currently, you feel like asking for them, chirp up. I'm not going to go terribly late tonight because it's kind of been a sad week in general, and another friend of mine in Philadelphia passed, and there's a salon going on, and it's in memoriam of him. And after this, I'm going to go there to just give my best regards to that lovely bunch of people that have welcomed me into their Philadelphia world over the last, I guess it's been 6 years now. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock. Field mouse hides from the eyes of a hawk. Cactus stands like a statue of a man. Him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge. Ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge. Twilight stealing in a corner of the sky. Riding along thinking by and by I'll put down my load. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry. Buzzards circle in the hard blue sky. Dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf. Piano in a corner that plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail. Fetched up water in a leaky pail. Gonna get out of town before the daylight fails. I don't wanna stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. Want a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones. Blackbird cries to rattle your bones. Cow skull laying by a watering hole. Don't drink there, you're gonna lose your soul in the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back. Wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track. Dry wind coming down from the hills. looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day is done. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Riding on a northbound train, leave the south behind. Rolling through the blue-gray dawn, I feel the past unwind. Hills and valleys, streets and alleys, little towns all in a row. People I may never meet, in places I may never go. Sometimes feel just like a gambler, and I watch my fortunes break. Or just like some weary rambler, wondering which fork to take. Got my backpack and my guitar, pocket change to pay my way. Bought myself a one-way fare, I'm going home and there I'll stay. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Play some changes while I'm rolling, looking for the words to sing. Play my rhythm from the train tracks, and I wonder what the muse will bring. Fellow travelers in this night car, asking me what songs I play. Sometimes strike a harmony as we pass the rattling miles away. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Giving up the games I tried to play, coming home to you, and there I'll stay. Riding on a northbound train, leave the south behind. Rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Okay, I am done. It's a shorter show than usual tonight, but the folks who were here for me from the beginning stayed to the end, and that's what matters. Bless you all. Sam and Robin, Josephine, always love you so much. Mystery listener, whoever you are, bless you. Thank you for sticking around and listening to the show. And Remember, if you do not know how this thing works, simply look down at the bottom of your screen if you're watching me on YouTube, which is, of course, the only way you can, and you'll see it says subscribe. If you subscribe, you go on my notification list and you'll be notified of any shows I do in the future. Costs you nothing, and it earns me brownie points. I've got about 75 subscribers now, and all I need is another 975 before I can be qualified for monetizing my site. So tell your friends about me. That's the most important thing you can do. And I love you so much. I love playing my music for anyone or everyone who will listen. A reminder, my book, White Gallery, currently available at Amazon. And if you check, get on my mailing list. I send a link to that to everybody. It's easy to find. Just look for Bert Lee books, Bert Lee, The White Gallery, and there it is. And also a new album on the horizon coming up very shortly, Swimming in Falling Water. Produced and engineered and really just pushed along with mighty strokes of love and tenderness by my friend Dan Simpson. A great sounding album. I hope you're going to listen to that, and you'll find it at Bandcamp in just a few weeks. So once again, so much joy to all of you in coming to visit me. Stay well, stay safe, love one another, love yourselves, take care, be good, and that